Alright, I'm trying a little commentary of my build here. This is showing off just the ESC's motors and the PDB setup. If you'll notice, I didn't use any ground wire, signal ground wires. Try that out. This is just a turnaround of up to the FC. I'd already showed off some of the wiring and stuff. I just want to show what the stack actually looked like. I'm trying to go all the way around it. This is the stack with the receiver on top of the FC, and then you have your Diatone LEDs on the top there. That stack is very, very huge. I didn't even think I was going to be able to get it in the pod. Alright, here it is in the pod, just to kind of show you how much room I have for the camera in there, which actually turned out to have a lot of room, which I was very, very surprised. So yeah, it's got. So here it is, all in its redness is here. This is the one with the KISS flight controller. I haven't took it for its maiden yet. We'll be here in just a few seconds. But it is all together, up and running. My Pagoda antenna that I made earlier, my 3D printed mount, ESC protectors, battery protector, red light in the top. Should be pretty good at night flying around. So there she is. I think it went together pretty good. I had some issues with the VTX antenna. I had to change it out for one of them L-bent, L-shaped SMAs because I was trying to tighten the antenna and twist it off the other wire, so I had to wait for them to come in the mail. But yep, there she is. Wish me luck on the Maiden. Thank you. I wanted to take note with this particular pod with these little air vents that's in the back. From here I'm able to see my VTX channel, and then from the other side is the actual button for changing the channels and the bands and all that stuff. So I did think I made a smart choice, because this pod is not easy to get on and off. So I am able to change that, because I don't have any VTXs with smart audio, so I can't do it through the Taranis. So yep. Alright, we're going to get a weight measurement here, compare it to my other quad. I'm expecting it to be heavy, but we shall see. Everything's reset, and 367 on the one with the pod. Alright, it's zeroed out. $388 with the one without the pod. Well, that's kind of stunning there. I thought for sure it was going to be heavier, but saved a little weight. Alright, so the probably not the best place to do the Maiden hover, but well, it's been raining like cats and dog and can't really wait. So let's just do a Maiden hover, and obviously we're going to do a FPV in the house, but should be okay on the hover. Let's see. I did all my pre-checks, made sure the props run right, the battery, the motors are the right direction. Should be good to go. So here we go.
Engines armed.
Getting ready for my disarm quickly. Here we go. Alright, looks like we got a hover. Yeah. Yeah, these batteries are on storage charge because of all the rain, so that's why it's beeping like crazy. Looks like the hover does pretty good. Alrighty, that is my hover test. So it seems to hover fine. Forward goes forward, back goes backwards. I did end up turning the flight controller around. So I did have to do a 180 on the rotation of the board. So luckily I checked that before I took off. So, alright, thank you.
So I'm going to walk you through my tuning process. Right here at the beginning, I'm having voltages not reading right and current not reading right on my OSD. I thought I was going to be able to change it via the OSD, but I was unable to do it. Also, me sitting here messing with the OSD trying to get the voltage. I sat here for a pretty good while doing this, and I wanted to leave this in because this is it. Obviously, the blue screen wasn't coming up, but it was. I guess the VTX got hot and went out on me, so I had to do a power cycle and was able to get the VTX or the display back. Here I'm doing a kind of a test flight, default PIDs for Betaflight. Just trying to get a feel for how it feels. I mean, it actually, I probably could have left it like this and it would have felt pretty good. It wasn't as, it was really, really loose. It felt really loose flying it around. So that's why I definitely couldn't leave it like this. So here I'm going into my PIDs. You can kind of see the arrow flashing. Normally, standardly on my yaw, I just put that at 90. I don't know. I did that ever since I've started just watching other people do their PIDs. Usually, that's about where everybody puts theirs. So they said yaw is not really a. You really can't do it much to the yaw. So I put it to 90 and it seems to be fine. I can tell a difference when it's not on 90 in my turn, so I thought maybe that may help a little bit. Right now I'm lowering all my D's just to try to work on my P's, but I'm going to lower my D's so they're not affecting the P's as much. But I don't want to take them all away. I was watching some other PID videos where they were saying, some people were saying take it to 0, but they said, well, you know, if you take it all away, it's not really going to fly that well anyway. So I decided to start putting mine at 18 before I start doing my P's, just to try to. I don't know. I just like that tuning way. So right now I'm raising my P roll and P pitch to around numbers where I know where this frame usually starts at. So I'm usually in the 6 on this frame. So kind of cheating a little bit. I'm doing some flips here just to kind of see how much bounce back I've got, how firm the turns stop, which is not that bad, but I can definitely feel a difference when I put a little bit more time into tuning them. So here I'm just kind of flying around, just trying to fill out the quad, just trying to think while I'm flying what should I change, what should I move. So just going around curves, still feels a little loose in the turns. getting, you know, some prop wash. So still a little loose, so I'm going to turn up the pitch just a little bit. Seems like with it a little bit higher, I can actually hold the pitch a lot easier. Roll needs to go up some. But normally roll is not as high as pitch, so that's the reason why I kind of went 70, 75. Going back through here and doing my flips again, just to kind of see what the bounce back is. I mean, it's really pretty good. So just doing more flips. Yay. Lovely, lovely flips. Alright, going to do some fast turns just to kind of see where the prop wash is at. Still a lot of prop wash. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my PID tuning screen here. It feels like they may be just a hair high. So I'm turning them down a little bit. Went down to 73, 73. Usually they're not the same. So that's the reason why I don't know why I went 73, 73. I guess it was kind of like a test out. So here we go. Just doing some more flying around. Still not happy with it. You know, it's kind of hard to explain why I'm not happy with it. What was going through my mind when I did it. The big thing I'm trying to do is get rid of prop wash. I'm thinking maybe it may be just a little bit high, because normally that is a little bit high on the roll. So I'm going down a little bit. Pitch was 75. I felt like, you know, it just did not feel. I felt like my changes were a little too high. Now I'm gonna raise the D up a little bit, getting oscillations. I had raised up the P's hoping to settle down the oscillations, but it didn't really get rid of them, so I decided to go up on the D's just a little bit. So I went from 18 to 25. Still getting a lot of oscillation going around corners. Now this tune does have PT1 set, but both of my notch filters are still enabled, because I don't have to keep taking the pod off if the motors got hot. That's why my D, I still got a lot of oscillation. I believe right there I wouldn't have had any oscillation if I had the two notch filters turned up. So still getting oscillation going around the corners. So I decided to go up to my D's on 30s. My roll, I didn't feel like I was getting any advantage from my roll being up that high. And normally I don't run my roll up that high. So I decided to go down just a hair. And that seems more normal in them kind of numbers there. So right here is still flying pretty good. I did check my motors and all that stuff. They seem like they got a little bit warmer when I went to 30. But I did end up going higher on my D's, and the motors actually were cooler with a higher D, which I didn't understand that one. But I almost hit the tree there because it still felt very, very loose. And that's kind of why I almost hit the tree. I'm going to go up with my D's just a little bit more, because I'm still getting a lot of prop wash. I'm pretty happy with the P and the D's. I'm changing the I's now to hopefully make the quad a little bit more tighter in the turns. I went up a little bit on that. You can see in the video how much it went up. I don't know exactly by just looking at it. So right now I'm going for another fly here. Try to test out, see what I think I need to do to the PIDs. If you notice there, I'm kind of struggling to turn. The eyes really stiffened it up, so I went a little too far with the eye, so I'm going to go back down a little bit. I think I end up going the eyes back closer back to default, maybe up just a few. I think I left yaw at 50, but I did change roll and pitch. I think pitch is pretty good actually. I ended up changing the roll eye a little bit more here. Still a little stiff. Yeah, probably didn't need to go down on the pitch, but I did anyways. Went back, I guess that's default, back to 50. Took my eyes down a little bit more. 43, 50, and 50 on my eyes. Try to stiffen it up a little bit. Yeah, it seems to feel just a little bit better. It's not as stiff again. Yeah, really get that eyes really stiffened up. I've had on some of my builds eyes all the way up in the 60s. So I think that's on my Martian 220 where my eyes were up. So now I'm having to do a little bit longer flights just to try to get a feel of the quad. Wanted to add another configuration that I had to do to Betaflight during my first few flights and setting it up. I did end up having to change this back to onboard ADC because it would not let me change the voltage scale in order to, my voltage was off about 0.9, so I had to go in here and adjust this. Also, I'm currently looking at the current sensor here. And so far I've had to take this down to 200, and hopefully I get that close to where it needs to be. Alright, so I'm going to do some more flight testing here to try to get rid of a little bit more prop wash. At this point in time, the quad is feeling pretty good. Just trying to push the tune just a little bit more. I think I end up going to my D's up a little bit more. I'll have to wait until I see this next screen. But I do want to do a little talking some on the D gains. Sometimes you can go up with your D and the motor's not get any hotter. So you got to be careful on that. I had some one quad that I did end up, which didn't have PT1 on. If you'll notice, I'm trying to go up on the D's a little bit more here. I'm going to try a little bit more up on the roll P2 just to see if that helps any. But back to my D games, you got to be careful. Usually 40 on the D is high as I feel comfortable going. Just for past note, I did turn some motors up at one time to 60. They were not getting hot, but I didn't have very many flights on them motors, and end up, now I didn't burn out all 4 of them, but I did burn out 1 of them. So since then I've really not wanted to go past 40. That's about where I feel comfortable, and that's with the notch filters on. On my other quads with the notch filters off, I think I try to stick under default, which is 30. I don't remember exactly where them are at, but yeah, just be careful. I tried to go through a little bit of the tuning process here, just to kind of show you what I do to tune it. Now this is only like 6 batteries, so I could probably spend a little bit more time on it, but you know, from just past experience, I kind of know around where with this particular frame, which is the real ACC 210. I kind of know about where the PIDs are going to need to be, so that's kind of cheating a little bit. But here we go for a little more flight. Fixing to give you a full flight video after I've finished doing my PIDs. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you very much for watching, and hope this has been helpful in some form or fashion. So thank you. Alright, so I just had to throw another flight in here. Just didn't have enough time to talk about my experiences so far with this particular build. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't know how it's going to take in crashes with that big stack, but just the feeling of the quad. I mean, it's like the best Windows machine is Windows running on an Apple computer. Yeah, is what they say, and I've seen it. Windows actually runs really good on an Apple, an iMac. But is it KISS? I mean, Betaflight runs best on a KISS flight controller? I don't know. I'm not really willing to find out because it doesn't have Betaflight OSD, which is an awesome feature, and the MWOSD, I think that's what it's called, is just very slow. I mean, it really was a battle tuning my PIDs. It also was hard. Well, I couldn't do my voltage or my current sensor. Even though I changed settings in the OSD, it did not change on the flight controller. So I've got to assume my TX and RX pins are working because, well, I can change my PIDs. PIDs is the only thing I can change to the OSD, which is helpful. I don't. It may be the pod. I mean, the weight is close to the same as my other quad, but it just seems to float in the air and glide through the air more easily and fluid. I don't know how to explain it, but it really flies good. And I also I've put the RaceKraft 5051s on it, and they really increased the power a little bit. Still not to the speed of my 2600S red bottoms. I did order some new props that have been raved about, and wow, they really changed the flight characteristics of this build too. So I'm not going to tell you the name of the props because I didn't fly them in any of this build, but man, they are awesome. I'm going to try them on my 2600 kV red bottom S's, so I'll tell you about it. But thank you.